Okay, we are live. Monad in the morning, episode 23. Great to be back. We are, I think, 23 out of 24 consecutive weeks. That's pretty good. Chat, this is my first time ever live producing this show. So I really hope you can see us, really hope you can hear us, but please confirm if you can, in fact, see and hear us. Two very special co-hosts today, joined by Greg and Alex, not joined by Jessup and Kevin. They will be back next week, but this is going to be a super fun episode, I think, and pumped to have both Greg and Alex on board. How we doing, guys?
Good, man.
Great to be on here.
Yeah,
excited.
Thanks for having us.
Good to be here for sure. I think this is, if I'm correct, this is your first time like on cam talking with the community. So probably would be helpful to start off with like a little intro and background on you guys, like how you got into the space, what you focus on, and then also like how you ended up here at Monad Foundation.
Sure. Yeah, I'm happy to go first.
Yeah,
you might want to get a little closer to your mic.
Can you guys hear me?
Play around with it
like this.
Chat, can we hear Greg? Yeah, you can like pull it a little
good.
closer if you want, or
Okay,
like the
cool,
full
cool.
stand moves.
Oh yeah. Gotta keep the Labubu standing though.
Yeah, keep that Labubu up there.
Yo, it's good to meet you guys. I first got into crypto back in 2016, 2017. I went to UC Berkeley, so this was like the era where like the blockchain at Berkeley started, and it was like kind of like the hub of crypto at the time. So a lot of my friends were like the initial founders or initial members of blockchain at Berkeley, and went on to create their very successful companies afterwards. And so that's kind of where I got my start trading the ICO bubble. After that, I started my career at McKinsey, which is a management consulting firm in San Francisco, really focused on tech, interactive entertainment, a little bit of crypto as like the practice was starting up then. And then I made my way to SoftBank Vision Fund, which is kind of known as like the OG DGen with Masa San at the helm. Big swings, big misses, and very big wins as well. So they're deployed about $1 billion in transaction volume before making my way to Makers Fund. For context, Makers Fund is a top global interactive entertainment fund. And so at Makers, really focused on the intersection of interactive entertainment and crypto. Did about 80% of deployed deals outside of the crypto fund, the dedicated crypto fund that we had. And then made my way to Monad as we invested in Monad. And I was talking to Eunice and Keone, and they mentioned that they were looking for someone to head up the interactive entertainment practice here. And so was lucky enough to kind of get that position, meet Danny and Alex. And so we work very closely together on all things Monad.
This is why I'm excited. That's a killer background. We've got two gentlemen that know a lot more than me, especially on this subject. So very, very excited to dive in today. Alex, keen to hear about your background as well.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, everyone. Great to meet. I started in a traditional finance background. I was over at Barclays for a few years. And, as I was in the role, like I was constantly, getting drawn in by crypto. This is around like 2017. Initially, I was trying to find some stocks to buy, but I saw a lot of them were blacklisted, and that helped me like find my way down the crypto rabbit hole and like tinkering a bit on the speculative angle. But like the more time I spent in the space, like the more drawn I got to it. And at some point I was like, all right, I need to jump in like full time and really go all in career-wise. So like around 2020, I actually came across like Delphi Digital and a lot of the interesting research that they were doing. So I joined there to help scale up the research side, covering all the different emerging categories, right? Like DeFi, L2s, and a lot of the interesting sectors on that front. And had some opportunities to join the venture side as well. And like Delphi being like a very like Web3 native fund, like really got into the trenches of like trying lots of apps. And like that's one of the best ways to keep up with the space too, right? Like being really hands-on, and was able to invest, sector agnostic and on both the infra and the app side. But it was really like, NBA Top Shot and certain products that took off on the NFT side that got me really excited about the consumer, interactive entertainment angle. And at that point, joined Sfermion to double down on the application side of things. So at Sfermion, focused a lot on consumer and apps, and spent a lot of time, even like outside of crypto, like identifying like, hey, where like fanatical markets where people have these fandoms and willing to spend money and create and consume content, and really like learned a lot on that side. And throughout that period, got to know the Monad team as well, through joining like Monad Madness and different events there. And I was really excited to have the opportunity to join on the ecosystem team to help scale things out further.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, super, super cool backgrounds across the board. And it's an interesting time to be having this conversation. I think like there's been a lot of excitement around gaming and interactive experiences, consumer meets crypto over the past couple of years. But and certainly there's been some like quote unquote successes, but I don't think anyone's really cracked it. So definitely excited to kind of dive into some of the problems. I know, Greg in particular mentioned interactive entertainment a couple of times, which I think is like a really cool concept to dive into. But before we do, for the chat, for the loyal listeners of Monad in the Morning, as you know, we spin the wheel on the show. Most recently, we have been spinning the wheel towards the end of the show to those community members who ask great questions in the chat. So if you have a question, feel free to drop it in the chat. And if it's a good one, maybe we'll ask it of Greg and Alex, and maybe we'll even ask it of our special guest who is coming on the show live at 10:30 today in let's see, 18 minutes. So looking forward to that for sure. But before we dive into, I think a lot of the specifics, like probably helpful to set the scene in terms of what you guys see as some of the points of failure in the consumer space or the gaming space, specifically as it relates to crypto, obviously. And part of the point of this episode is to kind of share with the community, mainnet now on the horizon, consumer gaming interactive experiences are going to be very big on Monad. It's one of the kind of unique verticals that a very, very performant EVM chain can support. But what is that going to look like? How is it going to be different from attempts that we've seen over the past couple of years in the space? So first, I mean, would love to get your takes on like just broadly, where is Web3 gaming at today? Like, do we chalk this up like the past 4 years as like kind of a failure, or where are we at?
I would say like there's a lot of like nuance to that question, right? I don't think that Web3 gaming in its current form particularly failed or particularly succeeded. One of the main, I suppose, problems is that there was such high inflated expectations for these games, and making games is very, very difficult, right? If you look at like the Web2 industry, budgets have been ballooning. It costs like, GTA 6 is like over $1 billion to create, which of course will be a great game, hopefully, fingers crossed, but very, very expensive. So the barriers to entry to creating very strong experiences on the top end have increased. However, we also see on the bottom end, with new tools like AI tools, for example, as well as like the games that are really popping off on Steam, like Lethal Company, very like social experiences that can be created by 1 or 2 people, including those on Roblox as well. It's really moved into like a more barbell market. I think the core issue had been the focus of creators within the space. A lot of them promised huge AAA games, huge budgets, but the capital just wasn't there, right? And that coupled with the timing of incentives, I think, was really like the difficult part to balance. Because in any application, you effectively need to, this goes for like goods generally. You have to kind of give value, prove out that people are willing to pay for value, and then you can use incentives to kind of juice that. But a lot of times in crypto games, it was like the opposite, right? You don't know if like something has like fundamental value before supercharging it, and you can't really separate out this really important confounding variable that can really affect consumer behavior. I like to point to like Uber, right? Uber, it's very similar, right? Where they effectively were paying. I mean, this was probably like partly like my bad at SoftBank, giving a bunch of money to Uber, for example, but they ran a loss, but to get market share, right? This is like a core value of these winner take all markets. However, they did know that the model was working from a unit economic basis before kind of supercharging that so that they can project out long-term profitability and the business can sustain so that it can continue to give value to users.
Yeah, no, definitely agree with your sentiment there. And I feel like, especially on the gaming side too, especially in crypto overall, like cycle over cycle, the good thing about different deployments over time is like everything is a learning experience, right? Like maybe if one particular economy, like the emissions weren't sustainable, it's a takeaway for the next founder to implement on that side. And overall, I think one element was like crypto moves so fast, and like the gaming development cycles, they're a bit longer. So maybe by the time a game is ready to launch, that particular genre that they're building for may be a bit out of favor on that side. And more importantly, I think as it pertains to like the product side and token, in some of the more speculative cycles, there was a bit of a tendency to lean like very early with the token. That being said, like managing a game economy is hard enough as it is. And then when you add this financialized asset, this can impact the experience that users have. And it really creates like a lot of reflexivity, right? Where if the gaming tokens are used as yield in the economy and, you know, the tokens are doing well, it'll onboard more people, but it's very reflexive on the downside as well. And now, especially with like a stronger infrastructure like Monad and a lot of more like scalable support for games, it's a lot more feasible for these users, especially like the long tail, to be able to participate consistently. So yeah, definitely like a lot of learnings over time, but it's one thing just looking at broader like Web2 consumer spends, like trends, like where do people spend a lot of their time? You know, gaming, broader entertainment, it still makes up a lot of mind share, and expect to see a lot more of that in crypto as well.
I thought it was really interesting. Bill Monday put out a tweet the other day. And I'll kind of paraphrase here because I don't have it in front of me, but it's basically, I thought it was really interesting. Basically saying like crypto participants or like crypto Twitter, like, you know, spending a lot of time in crypto basically is competing with gaming, like gaming and probably like general social media consumption, YouTube, other types of content like that are the like primary competition for like, you know, spending time in crypto, like whether you're playing games, whether you're trading assets or whatnot. And like that's very true. I think it's certainly true for myself. I used to play a bunch of video games and basically converted all of that time plus every other second that I could find in a day, converted that into crypto. And I was just talking to Greg off camera, like haven't played Call of Duty in forever. Would love to, but don't really have time anymore because I'm spending so much time in crypto. So I think like I know we'll dive into the whole like interactive entertainment thesis, but I think like there's likely some sort of conversion between gaming, making money on the internet, and just like general crypto participation, especially as these experiences like get more and more immersive.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
like as you get older, you just have less. It's timeshare. That's like what the like Tim Sweeney at like Epic Games will talk about, right? Timeshare is really like the one of the core metrics that they look at, which is why they see like their main competitor being like TikTok, for example.
What do you mean by timeshare?
So like there's only like X amount of hours in the day that someone has that they're not sleeping generally, right? On average. And so like, let's say you sleep for 8 hours, there's 16 hours left in the day, 3 hours for eating total for 3 meals, assuming. That gives you like 13 hours left. And so like, if someone is spending like 3 hours on TikTok, it means they can't play 3 hours of Fortnite, for example. So it's that's what like timeshare is. And that's like very correlated to like the business model of a lot of these games, at least the way they're designed today. We're seeing a lot of new game designs, like Moko, for example, from Supercell, where they effectively don't want you to play that long, and the I think the core hypothesis there is that it increases the lifetime value of like a gamer, and also maximizes the marginal utility they get from gaming, right? Because you can basically, like, the calculus is like, for lifetime value is really like how long they stay on a platform. If they play 3 hours a day times 2 years, it's more than playing like 8 hours a day for like 2 months, right? So that's kind of like
Interesting. I mean, but I feel like that metric is kind of shifting, where like the last 10 years it was about like how much time can I make a user spend on my app today? Like right now. I don't care. I mean, I do care about what they're going to do in 6 months, but like right now my problem is, why are they not spending more time on my app today? So I'm going to optimize for that. But then you get burnout. Then you get people like my wife, who's like, I am too addicted to Instagram and TikTok. I can't even have these apps on my phone.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
she just deletes it.
And it reduces like monetization for business.
Yeah.
And then going back to the point on the timeshare as well, like I was reading this interesting statistic on like the number of apps that people interact with on a daily basis, and it's, let's say, 7 to 9 on average, and it goes to show it's like, yeah, just like that, real estate on somebody's phone is incredibly important. And I think especially on with games that are implementing crypto as well, a lot of what we talked about, like apps that make people money, I think crypto does a good job of that. And as long as it's like a sustainable form factor, I think that's where apps can really compete for attention, because yeah, there's always going to be a swarm of apps on the App Store. Now with like the rise of AI, it's going to be even easier to create. And I think crypto bringing in a lot of the ownership side to gaming could be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I want to go back to like Danny's point on like the timeshare portion of things. Like, basically, in my opinion, like the apps that will do very, very well in the long term is effectively taking like fun, which is like, I don't know, maybe like 20% of one person's dedicated day, and combining it with something else, whether it be like creating like businesses, like a job, or going to the gym, right? So for example, when I play games, my majority of game time is in VR, because it is a very good form of like cardiovascular exercise. And so that basically allows me to lump two things in together, effectively optimizing kind of like my time, which is one of the real like most valuable commodities, I think.
So is it safe to say that like the prediction here is, rather than like looking forward maybe 5-10 years, rather than carving out 2 hours a day or 3 hours a day or whatever time spend you can devote to that immersive experience, in this case gaming, rather than just devoting that exclusively to sitting down and playing a game, I might take my 1 hour of gym time, combine that with an immersive VR experience, and then all of a sudden, like, these builders are able to infiltrate my schedule in areas that I would not normally devote to this type of experience, but they can monetize that essentially.
It's like the gamified consumer thesis that has been there for a very, very long time. But I think like Duolingo is like a good example. But even when you play games, right? Like most of us will play like multiplayer games, right?
Yeah.
And it's like a good way to kind of like, chill with the boys type of thing.
Oh, totally.
So like that's like another example of the kind of intersection, right? Of I guess dual mandate interactive.
Yeah, I mean during COVID, so like I graduated from university right as COVID basically started, and it was very weird because I went from like living on campus in a house with 7 of my friends to like moving back in with my parents, and I couldn't like go hang out with people. We couldn't go out, like we couldn't see each other. So we would just hang out every night on Fortnite for like 3-4 hours. Like after we wrapped up work, it's like, okay, I'll see you guys on Fortnite. Like that's where we started hanging out because it was the only place that we could.
Yeah.
That's another thing too that's really interesting, like especially in terms of like how we spend our time. Like everything is like shifting more and more online and interactive. Like even like growing up as a kid, right, I'd go in the neighborhood, we'd play different games in the neighborhood, whatnot, baseball, things like that. But now going forward, entertainment is global, right? and it's pretty scalable on that side. To Greg's point, there's a lot of like, especially the Zoomer generation, like their third place is becoming like after school, put on the headset, go hang out. Like that's the social experience. And as the hardware gets better and more usable, comfortable, and other form factors come about, like, yeah, everything is just pointing towards like more multiplayer, online, interactive, and you're not constrained by like geographical boundaries as much anymore.
Yeah. And I think with like crypto, it allows for like these global like financial rails, right? And it also decreases the barrier for a lot of players to kind of come in, spend, create businesses, right? So if you think about like something like Roblox on chain, that like 70% of or like 60 or 70% of revenues that are created by creators kind of go to Roblox because they take a big rent, a big rake. And part of it is because of the financial infrastructure that they've had to build, which is very, very expensive, like very cost ineffective. And crypto as a platform, like a financial rail, really solves for some of those types of problems as well. And so you get increased player liquidity, you get increased actual liquidity, more economic activity as well. Of course, Roblox took like 16 years to kind of build. I played it in like 4th grade, where it was just like Legos in a game, basically. Which was fun. But like I think the promise is very much there, and I think the way the kind of world is moving will allow more folks to kind of see that and understand that, especially looking at some of the businesses in crypto now with very high like margin.
Yeah, definitely. We've gotten some pretty interesting questions from the community that I think we can probably take a couple of these now before our special guest calls in. Looking forward to that for sure. And yeah, if anyone is watching along in the chat, the only way to spin or to win a spin of magnificent wheel, the only way to win a spin at the end of the show is to ask a good question that we discuss live on the air, or you can also create a banger clip, and we'll look back at some of the folks who clipped last week's episode and we'll give you some spins at the end. But I think that's a huge opportunity for anyone in the Monad community right now. Like, it's kind of adjacent to what we're talking about with gaming and interactive entertainment.
Yo, clip that, chat. Clip that.
Clip chat.
Clip it.
But that's like that. It's interesting. Like, you saw so many people who have been clipping Pump Fun, clipping Thread Guy, and other streamers in the space just like grow 10K, 20K, 30K followers like in a matter of months, just putting out good, consistent clips. And like, if you think about the attention that's going to come in focused on Monad around mainnet launch alone is going to be parabolic. Like, people are going to be watching content. They're going to be looking for alpha. They're going to be looking for information, not only from this stream, but for any content that's created about Monad. And if you kind of take the time now, if you're interested and you want to grow your own account, start like working on creating good clips and putting them out. We've got actually a group chat that we've been working with community clippers and creators. So if you're impressing us on the timeline, we'll get you in that group chat. We're also hosting Friday morning streams. Jessup is working on booking some pretty big guests who are going to drop some alpha for the Clipper community. So I'm very bullish on the Monad community clippers, and I think there's a huge opportunity for those who actually go out, find great moments from podcasts, from streams, from videos. You put the clips out there, there's going to be an audience for you. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's a valuable endeavor.
Yeah, huge opportunity around content, especially the ability to kind of curate, specific moments in time. And like, clipping is so popular these days and only getting more viral.
Yeah, and also like if you go, sure, it's great to do it on Twitter, but like if you're creating clips anyway, I would be putting them on basically every platform, because how valuable is that real estate if you are one of the top clippers in crypto on TikTok? You're like the number one, you could be the number one source for news, or one of the top sources for news and updates and content. And like, this stuff is not going away. Like crypto's getting more and more popular. There's more creators coming into the space. There's more good content. And yeah, I would just say take advantage of that opportunity early. But before we have our guest call in here, I think we can take at least one of the questions from the chat, and we can probably ask some more once our guest comes on. But
Let's do it.
Gremlin Crypto asks an interesting question. What is one lesson from Web 2 gaming economies that you think Web 3 game developers still aren't applying correctly? And how could Monad help fix that? So I don't think we have to take this necessarily at face value with like only focusing on Web 2 game economies. But like, what needs to, I guess like a way to rephrase that would be like, what needs to change with the way that tokenomics or economic models are implemented in crypto? I think like looking through a lot of the questions here, the general mindset in the space is still that like Web3 games are built kind of for speculation. And I think what we're discussing here is that is like really in a large, like that's going to expand. That's not going to necessarily go away, because making money on the internet is cool and you should be able to do that within a video game or an interactive experience. But Web3, blockchain, Monad adds a whole lot more than just the ability to go create like a farming simulator, basically. So what is that going to look like?
Well, I guess I can take the first part of the question, like what Web 2 developers do that could be like very valuable for learning. And then the second part is like what may that look like, right, on Monad. So a lot of Web 2 developers, like a lot of the behaviors that we see in crypto today are, I guess there are 2 points here. One are behaviors that we've seen in the past in Web 2, and then 2 are behaviors that we actually see today in Web 2. The first point, if you think about like the OG MMOs, for example, like MapleStory, or like I think a lot of folks like to talk about like CSGO, for example, for the NFT example, but I'll focus on MapleStory. And the reason MapleStory, there was a burgeoning gray market in MapleStory. It was relatively like unsafe because there was a lot of centralization risks. Most of things actually went through like broker dealers. So like one dude would hold all the money and you kind of trust him to like send it to the other guy, and then you get your mesos, which is like the in-game currency. But how Nexon kind of thought about it is like they actually tracked kind of like the gray market price very closely for meso to won or the Korean won conversion, and that actually informed their game balance a lot. And this is effectively what is emissions, right? In terms, that is like a key learning that is very, very difficult to kind of it's a difficult muscle to kind of like build, but it's also a difficult muscle to even know how to build, right? So a lot of folks are unaware that that is like one thing that they have to really focus on. And then 2, like on the behaviors today that we see, I saw a few questions on like the, is play to earn sustainable? There are a lot of like incentivized ad networks in Web 2. And these incentivized ad networks effectively pay folks to play games using the revenue that they earn via ads, right? So I think like Adjo is like one of the big ones, for example. But these behaviors are effectively like very similar to like play to earn. But they understand that like to make these models sustainable, you have to create revenue, you have to create value, and you can give that back to the user in a sustainable way. And so really thinking about the supply demand dynamics in the long term and trying to create not only like a long-term sustainable business, but a long-term sustainable place where folks can also provide really positive, long-lasting value and get rewarded for that is really, really important. And I think that's what a lot of folks miss, honestly. It's like oftentimes like token first, business later, where it should be business first and then token afterwards. And it can be like.
Makes sense.
Yeah. One thing I'd add to the back of that, like a lot of what we've seen in Web 2 is like now that, culture moves faster than ever, right? Every time there's a meme generated or some kind of trend like Italian brain rot, there's all these experiences built around it. So you'd see like on the App Store, tons of games getting lots of downloads and, people playing around like with certain metas. And I think we're seeing like this rise of dopamine culture ultimately, right? So I was checking out this one chart earlier that does a really good job of explaining how like in every major vertical, right? Sports, music, communication, games, like everything is accelerating in terms of like the TikTokification of society. So I think the speed at which crypto and crypto games adjust to culture, I think will adapt over time and match that form factor a lot more closely as we see more like vibe coded games that can be spun up around memes and really just like more ephemeral experiences. We're seeing a lot of that on the Web 2 side. And for Web 3, we've seen that with memes. But I think there's got to be another dimension of like interaction and like entertainment around that culture that moves really fast. But there is the issue though of like the sustainability, right? Where some of these are meant to be more of like short form, things that you consume, but the business model is different, right? Versus these are more of like short form content that you consume, and next week there may be another trend or app that you play.
Yeah, I think like the promise of Web 2 was that everyone can kind of create, right? And like the promise of Web 3 is like everyone kind of can get a bigger share of the pie. Because there's two reasons why, right? One, the financial rails are much cheaper, which means you get 5 to 20% additional margin, and you can use that to give more back to the user. Right? And that's kind of like the promise of like the next generation of interactive entertainment, right? Like a lot, like the Italian brain rot memes, right? For example, if this was like on chain, then they can actually, the creator would be able to get attributed that, either getting paid on like a cost per impression or cost per install basis. But now it's just fine, which is like kind of enough for some folks. But I think that was like one of the big reasons I was really excited about crypto, because it's another way to kind of equalize the playing field. It's like the internet's like land of opportunity.
Yeah, for
sure. Well, I see our guest has queued up. So gentlemen, let's go headphones on. We, as promised, have a very special guest today calling in, first ever appearance on Monad in the Morning. I'm going to bring him up on stage right now. Awesome. Live with Lark, founder of Lumiterra. Really excited to have you here today, Lark. Can you see us? Can you hear us?
I can hear you quite clearly. Hello, everybody. I hope you can hear me all right. Okay.
We can hear you loud and clear. Thank you very much for joining the show today. And you are looking incredibly handsome with that mask on.
Yeah, I never seen anyone like wear a Gundam mask in the morning. So I'm the first one, I think.
Absolutely. You have that territory claimed now. Looking good. Pumped to have you on here. I think a great place to start, honestly, would be to just give kind of a quick intro on who you are and what you're building in the space.
Okay, great. So first of all, thanks for having me. But before I get started, I can show you my cool Gundam mask. Boom. You see that?
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It lights up.
That's how to do it.
It's the
lights up. Just keep the lights
the
up.
red eyes, the laser
Okay,
eyes.
so okay, and hi, I'm Locke. I'm an engineer, and before all the stuff in crypto, I work in Silicon Valley at a hardware startup, doing some algorithm work, and I basically like teach machine to analyze 3D data, helping people to do sports smarter, and later I went through YC, and a while back. Right now, I'm the co-founder and CEO of Lumiterra, and I'm the kind of guy who gets way too excited about new ideas, new products, and usually end up like building something weird with my friends, and which to an extent That's how I end up in crypto. And I mostly build things with my team of like 11 humans and 2 very, very fat cats. And I think I'm a part-time like top furniture. So that's it.
That's awesome. And I can see just faintly in the background, there's a monitor with code just screaming across the screen. So it seems
Yeah,
like
the server's log is there, and just like keep rolling. We see any servers down, any logs going wrong, something like that.
awesome. Well, I mean, one of the things that I think is most interesting to me and likely the audience as well is you said every time you get a weird idea, you just go and build it. That's pretty epic. Can you kind of walk us through what you've been building with Lumiterra, what that experience has been like? What's kind of the core product that you've been working on?
Okay, can I say some fancy word in the morning? I'm
You
not
can
sure.
say it for sure, Lark.
Okay. So I mean, in fancy word, we call our product a agentic interactive sandbox. Sounds weird. Sounds like a little bit complicated, but let me like put it in a simple form. It's like you can have this simple version. It's like the World of Warcraft and DeFi had a baby, and then OpenAI agreed to babysit. Okay, that's our product. You can look like that, and users or players, they explore the game in an open a big MMO world. They collect stuff, find monsters, do quests, farm, something like that. But everything you do actually has a real on-chain value. And the fun part is that you get an AI sidekick that like watches how you play and learn your style and eventually start doing things like like game character as an intern who never sleep or works for you. It's just like there's an AI intern just sit just like this pad right here, just watch you like and learn how you play the game, and then he can play the game for you while you sleep, something like that. And one day I think this intern can even like be rented to other players. Maybe you rent it to Alex, rent it to Danny, to Greg, and you can play with your intern. And I think what's more is that the intern is not just only live in the crypto game or in our product, but also in other space. Okay, that's our product in a brief view.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I love the intern analogy in particular, like having the ability to go play an interactive MMO, but then you have like your own sidekick that's trained on not only your behavior and your past history in the game, but others as well, right? That's pretty
Exactly.
awesome. I'm super excited for that.
Great. Yeah. Like a lot of like AI or model, they chain data with some upload PDF, CSV, something like that. But right now you can just play the game and the intern just watch like the data for you. You don't have to do anything. You just like sit and play and do the stuff as usual, and they learn. Just that simple.
Love it. Yeah. I'm sure there's some question marks in the head of the audience. We love to give alpha on Monad in the morning. We won't give too much today, but Lark from Lumiterra joining us on Monad in the morning. I think the audience can probably connect some of the dots there. But also curious, like more broadly, how you think the agentic experience within games and applications that are very consumer focused, how does that evolve? Like, do we get to a place within the next couple of years where the majority of our digital experiences have these AI agent intern sidekicks? Or I guess, like, how do you see that playing out, Lark, as someone who's like kind of building these things day in and day out?
Yeah, you see, like every day I go through the product hunt, like the leaderboard. A lot of stuff is about AI for the past 2 years. And in the first beginning, like a lot of like project is about model, it's about the infrastructure. But later, a lot more about the application, the agent. We saw some cursor, right? We saw some Kiro, like helping people coding, some Microsoft Copilot in the first place. But we saw a lot of like model involving no matter the LLM or the LVM, this kind of stuff. We see this model evolving, which means the capability of the agent evolving. So we see like Matlix like appear like a few months ago, maybe half years ago, and you see OpenAI agent just announced like, I mean, maybe last Friday, right? I forgot. It's
Yeah,
just that simple. And yeah, we think that like AI, if AI like want to go more into the application, they can help people to do a lot of different things. It's not just like chatting. It's more like organic, like doing things naturally, like with the human beings, something like that. Okay, so in the game part, so we value the user skill. So which means like say Greg or Alex, you play one game, or and if the game dies, you play another game, you analyze the game economy, you just play again. But if this metaphor or this methodology just adapt or absorb by the AI agent, they can learn how to play in general in your style. So if the AI agent, okay, there's a new games there, they can learn how to play without like you upload the document, the white paper of the new game. They can just simply start to like learn to train himself and learn how to play, maybe like killing monster, or if it is a puzzle game, they will learn how to like do this simple maths, something like that. Okay, and I think that's the idea of our skill tokenization. We want that the player's skill can be tokenized, their intelligence can be tokenized, and then the intelligence can be like transferred from one place to another place, and intelligence get better and better, which means your intern gets smarter and smarter, and you trade your intern like with a lot of different like crypto game or crypto product, they can become smarter and just do things better and better. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. And I know Greg has like kind of a broader thesis here about interactive entertainment, and we haven't really dived too deep into that. So wondering if you want to share some context around that, Greg, and also kind of share like how Lumi is like fitting into that.
Sure. Yeah, happy to do that. For context, like Lumitera has been one of the on-chain experiences that I've been tracking for a long time, even at my time at Makers for 3 years. I think it's like a perfect example to show kind of the opportunity there is in the intersection of interactive entertainment, AI, as well as crypto rails. The broad thesis for interactive entertainment is kind of, as Alex was saying, Web 2 allows for everyone to create, but they don't really allow folks to monetize effectively and efficiently and own kind of the content they create. A good example is kind of like there is a big petition going on in Web 2 games after Ubisoft kind of closed down one of their large like sports multiplayer games, that the guys who have bought access to the game no longer have access to the game because the server shut down, right? And so this level of ownership, if on chain, kind of allows folks to have perpetual rights to that instead of just, if you read the terms of service, it's now kind of a license to kind of play the game until the developer does not want to, sustain it anymore. That's one. Two is like kind of the perfect attribution portion as it relates to like Lumitera, for example, attributing the usage of like these agents that are trained on folks' activities allow for better monetization, better trackability on chain, permissionless composability, for example. I'm sure there's going to be branches of these like agents, perhaps like sub agents that can be composed upon and still attributed to the original creator with a very strong like revenue sharing type of model. And of course, accessibility, right, with global access, both on the liquidity side and the player base side. The last point I kind of want to talk about is kind of these accessible payment rails, right? So the way AI agents kind of work today, like if I'm using like Claude, like via MCPs, for example. Like I can use PayPal, but it's gonna have access to my entire like bank balance, right? But the agent can't like open up a PayPal itself. It can't KYC, right? Literally like the only way these guys can, interact with financial rails would be through crypto, because it's, you don't necessarily have to KYC. You can trade on chain, and you can transfer money to the agents to kind of act autonomously. And I'm sure like, Lark has like some ideas around this as well. So wanted to kind of pass it off to Lark and see kind of how you think about those key points that I mentioned and how it might kind of resonate with your thesis iteration.
Yeah, totally agree. So I think I can have my perspective on the business model on these AI agent things stuff. Say because I've been building in crypto for almost like 4 to 5 years right now. So if you can look the top 100 CMC project or pull the data from the DeFi Llama, you find a lot of projects. They have something in common. So it's like a business model. So one, I think, is about the new assets minting, about like how to tokenize stuff you cannot tokenize before in Web2. Say some meme coin tokenize news, tokenize some everything stuff. And the second will be the I think it's about the trading, hyperliquid, a lot of like DEX, SEX, something like that. It's about like trading. The third business model will be the payment. So I think on the AI agent side, so as Alex said before, I totally agree what you talk about on the gaming side. So since game development is involve a lot of like development, hard working. So if your game's development is finished in some sense, like crypto change a lot. You cannot like fit in those vibe. You cannot fit in those story like after like 3 months, 6 months or something. But you have to. But if you can adapt the vibe, if you can adapt the trends, the trends like in the long way, like AI agent can learn from that. And one thing is that tokenize something with AI agent, which is you can see virtual stock IO, they tokenize something, like they tokenized AI agent, they can tweet or something like that. And right now, I think we find another like topic on the tokenization, which the human skill, which is that like OpenAI or other like LLM model cannot have these data like right now, because this data is in your daily life. They cannot be like absorbed from this LLM before. So this is one thing. And I think the other is the because AI is going to change everything. I mean, in every industry, AI will do everything in every industry. Okay, this means a lot. This means a lot of like efficiency changing in different industries. So I think this will change a lot of things on the AI agent topic or the AI topic. So that's my thought.
Yeah, I think it's interesting too, from the broader agent standpoint, like especially on the crypto side. Initially, we saw a lot like of the Twitter agents that were posting and whatnot, and then there's a shift towards like, okay, we need utility-based agents. The premise of agents being able to transact on your behalf. But I'm very interested on the agents in games and like the gameplay that could emerge there. Transacting, on behalf of users and things happening on the back end. Maybe that angle of like entertainment and usage on the AI side is something that will be more of like a near term thing that crypto embraces, versus like some of the more longer tail or long term possibilities with agents, where it's like, oh sure, it can like manage all of your finances on your behalf, but ultimately AI and like Web 2, it feels like a lot of the usage has been entertainment focused and gameplay, and with Lumitera, I think that's a really exciting area to lean into.
I guess like
Great.
Sorry to cut off there if I interrupted, but I guess like
Go ahead,
one thing I'm interested in, Lark, is like, who do you kind of see as the ideal user persona for Lumitera and like gamified agentic experiences more broadly? Like who's your target customer? Who do you think is going to enjoy or benefit from the experience the most?
First, I think so for the MMO sandbox, I mean for the MMO gaming itself, of course, the GameFi users, and because there's a little bit context on our game, on our product, is that our game is not just a pure crypto game. So because we have some DeFi like experience before, we know how to build a crypto game in another way, which is we have our own like financial layer on like beneath the game. It's just like it's just like that the banking works in the society. You didn't know how the bank works, how the bank like earning money every day. You just like buy coffee in Starbucks or something like that. And we build this financial layer underneath the game, and everything is like every application is based on that. And so DeFi users is our users in the past, and they will continue to be our user in the future. And I think on the agent side, on agent side, so first will be the persona will be the GameFi users, which is start from the game. Because they spend a lot of time grinding the game, grinding different games, and there are a lot of data generating during this process of playing or gameplay. An agent can learn from the gameplay data and just act like them, and they can just play, like this user while they sleep, or they just want to they don't want to do some simple grinding daily. They just delegate the agent to do those stuff. So one is the GameFi user persona. This is one thing. The other, I mean, this is on the other side of crypto. Different areas, say DeFi users. You can see a lot of like DeGen, like DeFi users. They have a lot of like theory, but they can explain in simple words. But they cannot like teach the user in a standard way. Maybe the data, what they interact with Twitter, with some like hyperliquid perps, these data helps the agent to learn, to understand how they trade, how they like recognize news, recognize trends, like trends, like in daily life. So I mean, DeFi users, of course, will be the agents users. Okay, that's pretty much the two type of users we are going to have.
And so, like, I guess on Monad, like they would be able to, understand like the best traders on Kuru, and then in the future they can kind of perhaps rent out their skill set, very scalable way.
I don't think anyone's going to be renting out my skill set. I'm a pretty bad trader, but for others, definitely a compelling opportunity.
Yeah, maybe Danny, your marketing skill, like your growth skill, is super awesome. So I can lend your maybe I can rent your brain to help me do some marketing, do some Lumi in the morning like episode.
I think Lumi in the morning with the Gundam mask is a must. I would love to tune into that, Lark. Would be awesome to see that kick off. And yeah, definitely happy to lend my my data from the limited skill sets that I have. Hopefully we can make it kind of a two-way street kind of deal. Maybe I can get some of your brain power as well. But yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be interesting in terms of how it like ultimately evolves. I don't know how much alpha you want to give Lark, but in general, I'll kind of pose an open-ended question and feel free to answer in however much detail you prefer. But what's on the horizon for Lumi? Like, what's the upcoming focus over the next few months?
One thing, I mean, this will be definitely the AI agent stuff like coming in the Lumitera. So we can everybody can look forward to that. You'll be super cool, super cool. Imagine you can like just like your interns that control your character to play the game while you sleep and earn for you. Like everybody, like a lot of like agent compete with each other. It's not just a baby agent, just like okay, swap some USDC with some some CRV in the chat box. It's not that simple. It will be super killing app. I'm super excited with what we built for the past few months.
What do you kind of expect both gamers and the broader community, like Monad community, to utilize kind of the AI agents for? Like, what's the big vision kind of there? Like, what's the flow? Do you expect folks to kind of, understand how to use the tooling in the game and then bring that out for trading specifically or asset management? I'm curious to see like the picture that you paint for that kind of future of the internet and the future of on-chain trading.
Great question. The vision is simple, but I think it's broad. Is that in simple word, skill tokenization. Just that simple, skill tokenization. Whenever you are good at gaming or good at trading or good at marketing, your daily interaction with the internet within your computer reflect on what your skill will be, and this data is valuable. Say what I saw, this like live show or the tweets, these data like what I go through, something I like or dislike. This data will go through directly into your local agent model, and they can learn how to think once the data is big enough, and these will transfer that any agent can be some skill like agent. Maybe he's say I'm a crypto game called Big Time. Okay, I'm a Big Time player. I just like open my agent for maybe a 1 or 2 days or a few weeks. They learn my data. They learn how I play dungeon, how I play in the open world, and this style transfer data. They can learn that and they can play. And the cool thing is that the agent is not just you. We can co-train the intern together. We can co-train the agent, like maybe
like collaborative training.
Yes, exactly. And every agent there's an economic model underneath it. Say maybe an agent is like associated with a token. Like there's a tokenomic design underneath it. Maybe I have to stick some token. You can train or lend or rent my agent. There will be because a lot of AI star in Web2, they are competing with in user acquisition or something like that, and AI user in crypto in Web2 space that's not loyal enough. Once one better thing comes up, they can change that. But with our advantage in Web3 design, we can have our tokenomic design to have our bootstrap, have our users sustainable, having these user in these product. More data means more valuable. And these cannot be beaten by any other cool features around that. Okay.
So it's kind of like, I mean, the way I kind of see it, just synthesizing a bit, is you're getting your own personal LLM that is fine-tuned to your own personal skill set. The long-term vision is that because the skill set is so good, and the issue with general purpose LLMs today is that they're effectively trained on the average, right? If you're training on the top 0.1% of gamer or trader or DeFi farmer or whatever, then this is a differentiated model, one that allows these guys to continuously effectively build a business, right? And do that at scale instead of, I'm a big Jeff Nippard fan, for example, who is a big science-based lifting dude. But if he trained his own personal AI agent through Lumitera, which is effectively fine-tuned for him, then he could at scale provide the coaching that he has without kind of, potentially diluting that with folks that he has to hire, for example, and he can kind of scale a lot faster and kind of tokenize that at scale, right?
Yeah, and to expand more on the data side, yeah, would love to learn more about what is the scope of different types of data that the agents could be trained on and working with? Is this a combination of, it could be Web3 on chain, but from the Web2 side, and any data what categories are you most excited about for these agents?
I think we start with our most familiar product. Is our product the game and the trading, which is we are really like interested in. So trading is super important because like if the agent cannot like trigger more trading or more things to trade, like I think it doesn't make sense in crypto space. So the data will be any data in your screen. Of course, it's training locally in your local LLM with fine tuning, rag or memorize something like that. Yeah.
Another interesting question that we actually just got from the chat comes from Cristiano 78303. Cristiano asks, what social tools, if any, are built into Lumiterra? Can players form alliances, host events, stream directly in game? I guess like, beyond the agent helping you with gameplay, in-game experiences, what does that unlock?
I mean, the question is something like some guild feature, or am I missing something?
Yeah, I think I'm not exactly sure, but I think
More like
like
the social features.
yeah,
right?
like are there social elements like built into the game, and how does that relate to the agents?
Yeah, great question. So first, for the standard like social feature in almost every MMO, like we have those standard like guild feature, like friendship, like something like that. But for the agentic thing, it will be, but we cannot control that. It's like I'm not sure someone reads some paper like back maybe 2 years ago from Stanford. There's a NPC town full of like each agent with different characteristic. Maybe they do different things daily, but we cannot control that. Maybe the agent you just like assign some personality to him or to her. And what their social daily activity, I don't know. Maybe they want to they want to go to a danger zone to kill people. Maybe they just like chilling in the town and just talking to different like maybe human or different other agent. It depends on what characteristic you assign to your agent or the agent learn from you.
But like also on the social side, right? Like let's say like I'm first starting out in Lumiterra, right? I have like a few friends, but I want to kind of like bolster up like the effectiveness of the guild, right? If I train like an AI agent that is like a dedicated merchant, right? Where they're like they own a storefront, for example, or they go around and they kind of trade with players, then I could do that too, from like a organizational standpoint perspective, allowing everyone in the guild to kind of have friends to play with, as well as dedicated resources for things that can help like the guild's success
Yes,
in the long
yes,
term.
yes, yes. There are a lot of like interesting stuff like based on this agent thing. Say if I say for example, the agent will be some basic line for you to join the guild. Maybe you have to kill the agent before you can like join this like super cool guild or something like that. A lot of interesting stuff can build on like based on that. Which Web2 like maybe games cannot do that. You see a lot of like Web2 game, MMO game, they just like getting the LLM to some random NPC. They may have some rich like conversation, but just not beyond that, just sitting on that on that level. But like we are doing in a more crypto way or more a fancy wild way.
So like these agents can have more long-term memory.
Yes,
Sounds like.
exactly. They should have. They should have.
Yes, sounds like too, like with what you'd been saying on the, like the long-term memory that, yeah, the more memory they have, there's just more opportunities around just like emergent, like narrative gameplay, and like more variance in terms of like how agents respond and whatnot.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's going to be interesting to see how this all evolves, and it's kind of hard to it's like something kind of abstract unless you've seen it firsthand or like really kind of studied this stuff, but like actually interfacing with the experience is probably the easiest way to understand like some of the like benefits that adding agents to a game or an immersive experience kind of like has. So I'm excited to we'll definitely look to play live on stream pretty soon, I think. But yeah, it's going to be really cool. We also got a question from the chat, little bit of a lighter question, but I think I think it's an obvious one to ask. Why the Gundam mask, Lark? Where does is there any lore on the Gundam
Okay,
mask?
well. A simple answer. I like Gundam very much. Super
Bingo.
fan. Yeah. What's your favorite like series of Gundam? Me, Gundam like 00 or Gundam Z in my childhood.
Love it. Yeah, I think
Oh.
some of the community in the chat was like guessing the exact mask that you had on. It looked like some pretty precise guesses, but yeah, that's awesome. I hope it's kind of like continued lore. We get to see you coming back for Monad in the morning, maybe speaking on stage at a large conference in the Gundam mask. I like the brand a lot.
We have some costume like of the Gundam in the game.
You have
Oh.
this costume. You get
Yeah, and
the
we
Lark
have some-
Gundam mask.
Yeah.
some Zagu like costume also.
Absolutely love it. I think we've gone through a couple questions from the community. We definitely will get to some spins pretty soon. I think it would be also interesting to hear like how you got into building this. Like, where does the idea come from? Obviously, an MMO meets crypto is not like a brand new idea in 2025, but I think the way that you're building this in particular is quite innovative, is quite unique. So just kind of curious if there's a story there.
So first, I'm the guy like super excited about new ideas and new things, and I think I'm always like loving like messing with computer and programming. So in the first place, and so Albert and I, my co-founder Albert and I like start like messing around in crypto space back in 2020 because we read the first white paper of Uniswap V2. That makes a lot like we just like love it. Like engineering, finance, like everybody, they can like they can like just finance. It's just like programmable finance. I mean, like anyone, they can build, trade, they can create value without asking for permission. That was a cool idea for both of us. So that's the initial like motivation on us like building on crypto in DeFi. We saw a lot of like DeFi protocol back in 2020, back in 2021. Every 2 or 3 days there will be new protocols coming out. We check those white paper. We just read their source code and bang, well, that's super cool. And then in 2021, we saw some like good games, crypto game, play to earn, this kind of like story like comes from the crypto space. We think, okay, since I like gaming, like I'm not sure everybody you like gaming. I am a Moon Harvest like player. I'm a
nice.
farmer.
OG.
Yeah. And I like play. I have a lot of games. I have a lot of games in my Steam. I cannot scroll back to the end of my game list. And then
Bullish.
anyway, I think we can combine our experience of game like DeFi into like building some things we love, which is the game. So these two type of game, it's not just a pure like it's not just another, you tokenize your game item and we call it the crypto game. No, we are not going to do it in this way. We're doing it another way, which is we build a financial layer underneath the game. So the game is like for the maybe is for the fun part, the AI is for the other part. So we just build it. And we want the game. The fundamental should be something that it can generate sustainable revenue, because revenue like means a lot. Because when I'm back in YC, my mentor told me, so the one important thing that users told you that they love your product is not what they talk. It's about whether they pay, right? They can say like fancy stuff. Okay, your product's good, you are fancy, okay. But whenever they're not going to charge on the credit card, they don't love your product. They have no demand on your product. So since 2024, we've been having our sustainable revenue by now. We make a few meals till now, and we have our like space to breathe. We have our room to explore, and I think the motivation of having like DeFi is because based on our passion on this vision, the programmable finance. On the agent thing, because GPT 3.5, I think it's back in like 2023, late 2023, and then involved in it to GPT-4. And then we saw the opportunity. We saw, okay, these kind of AI model, they can change the world. If they can change the world, every vertical can be reduced, which is gaming, which is DeFi, which is crypto. So we just explore the possibility of these kind of things. So first we start with the demand, which is, okay, players grinding in the game, and the skill cannot be tokenized. They cannot be transferred to other people. They cannot co-chain the intellectual. So we start with this point and see what we build for the users in the next couple of months. Okay.
So basically, like what I'm hearing is like, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but like the game, like the thesis came from like the programmable finance aspect of DeFi. But the issue with a lot of DeFi, it still is too high barriers to entry for like a lot of folks. And so like both Lumitera as a game, as well as like the AI agentic platform kind of lowers that barrier for folks to get into what is like the promise of programmable finance, with like lowering those types of barriers, one. And then two, I suppose it kind of goes into like the distribution strategy that I suppose you're thinking about, because Lumitera, correct me if I'm wrong, is like available on, is it browser, downloadable PC, as well as like on mobile, right?
Yes, except Linux, every platform. Of course, Xbox, we cannot run on Xbox. Anyway.
I see. Well, most folks would probably be happy to hear. I see like a lot of folks in the chat is it's available on mobile, and I know for myself, I play it on mobile a lot. So, I mean, I think that kind of thesis makes a lot of sense. And like the agentic platform that you guys are building, of course, like the game as like a way for folks to kind of dip their feet into the promise of DeFi will move leaps and bounds to kind of get more folks on chain and more folks into the promise of programmable finance.
One thing I really like about it is like, it doesn't feel like this pretend play where, you know, there's a lot of games that are like, oh, you know, we're going to build this on Web3 rails. We're going to abstract away all the crypto elements. We're going to target like Web2 gamers, Web2 users. And that's fine and good for like what that is. But like generally it leads to a product that doesn't have a meaningful on-chain element. There's not really a clear reason why. So, like you just take a Web2 game and implement it with a couple crypto integrations and features. And I think, one, people see through that, and two, you're just directly competing against the incumbents in Web2 because the product is essentially identical to what they're used to. What you do here, Lark, with Lumitera is you say like, hey, there's really cool things happening in DeFi with on-chain trading. We're actually going to lean into that and create a really cool gamified experience that makes it easier to do those things, that makes it more fun, more immersive to do those things as well. And I think the fact that you're not playing this game of pretend, and the fact that you're going after, you know, DeFi users and crypto natives and people who are already in the space, as well as those who are not. I think that's just really cool to me, and I'm excited for it for sure.
Opens up like a lot of doors too for like different monetization routes, and even seen for consumer, like a lot of like the mullet thesis, right? Like consumer on the front end, DeFi on the back end. I think similar on the gaming side, but we'll see more and more of that in here. Ultimately, right, to compete versus the incumbents, you have to do something new. Can't be like a remake of something existing. So like bringing on chain people on chain like is hard enough as it is, but once you have that user base, it's much easier on the back of that to then like leverage the composability and other aspects as well.
Yeah. I mean, like a lot of like different project, maybe crypto game project. Like we designed the game like backward. So we designed the economy like DeFi layer in the first place, and then we choose which genre, which game feature like fit this economy layer or economy like model a lot. So if this like game features just purely do like increasing the gaming experience, maybe the priority is lower. Say if I'm going to like invent adding a fishing mechanic, if this mechanic is just like improving the gaming experience, that doesn't make it a P1 priority for our project. So maybe some and any like feature, they can trigger higher trading volume. They can trigger the demand from different players. That's our high priority on that, because we have our DeFi layer underneath it. Everything is like work for this layer in the first place, and without like user case, they cannot like sense that on this design. But we based on that and decided backward, and we have this like revenue like linear because of this theory or this mechanic design.
And the DeFi mechanic is not limited to trading, right? Like I would imagine,
of course,
like let's say like I have a very rare NFT that I don't want to sell, right? Basically, like borrowing on top of that, using that either in game or within DeFi modules or potential like partnered like DeFi protocols. Like I can use that additional capital, for example, for more utility, right? Because that's like I think like the trading stuff is interesting, yes. And right now, I think in chat, folks had said like there's permission trading and like yes and stuff like that. And of course, like gray marking trading and like other types of games. But making it fully transparent, fully composable means that you don't just tap into the breadth of liquidity in decentralized finance, but also the depth of liquidity, right? And what you can kind of do with that liquidity that you create within the game is also like I would imagine like a key part of your thesis.
Yes, I totally agree. Like, please, Alex.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say too, like on the back of what you mentioned on the partner side, do you mean it's like, hey, for like third parties when it bring in exogenous rewards for users to obtain as well, or like
I mean, I think rewards is one thing, of course, but like utility is also like another, right? So like maybe you can like I don't know, like restake like assets that you have within one ecosystem, use that like restake like Lumi or whatever in order to borrow from a lending protocol and then get whatever currency you might want, and then use that within the game or in other DeFi protocols, and making that flow really easy for folks to understand. One not only allows for traditional crypto gamers to kind of like dive deeper into kind of what crypto, the promise of crypto can be on the composable finance side, but also like in the longer term, focusing on like Web2 onboarding. A lot of these puzzle pieces are in place with like Lumitera, for example, cross-platform, et cetera, for like Web2 folks to understand, utilize that flow, and actually create value for themselves and the overall adoption of crypto in the long term is kind of like how I would see it.
I want to add up something like here, like based on Greg, and you can see that in 2025, or we didn't hear some phrase called GameFi block, right? GameFi Lego, we didn't hear that, but we heard a lot of DeFi Lego, right? Game, they cannot like plug in with each other, but DeFi protocol, they can plug into each other. They have different combination, they are composable. That's why we have this layer underneath it. So we have a lot of flexibility, like plugging different like DeFi Lego into other protocols, say a Pando or Eula or other DeFi protocol. It's a lot of fun, like plugging these different DeFi Lego.
GameFi Lego, clip it, coin it. That's the new narrative. Absolutely love it. Yeah, Lark, this is awesome to have you on here. The chat has been really complimentary of your Gundam mask. We are also, however, getting a lot of questions about some of the artwork that you have in the background. I don't know if you'd like to
Yeah, they are
elaborate
from
on any of those.
community. It's not
Oh,
from us.
oh, tell us more.
Yeah, so one thing I'm super proud of is that we have a creative community. They just like, I'm not sure how they learn that. They just like create all those like nice meme artworks like daily or weeks. I just love that. We don't have much room for that. We just face that. These like pixel arts, we have a lot of like on this board. We just like print it in a poster. We did like so it's our honor to have their artworks there.
Love it. Community is so important, of course, and now I see the Monad communities buzzing in the chat. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe you get something from the Monad community as well. That's super cool, and again, awesome to have you on. And I think like probably more alpha today than people actually realize is alpha. So if you're watching the timeline over the next couple weeks, probably more and more of this starts to make sense. But definitely a lot to look forward to here. I think in just a minute we'll hop over and do some spins for the community, those who have clipped the show recently and those who asked great questions today. Before we do, however, Lark, I don't know if you have any final thoughts to share with the Monad community, any wisdom, any alpha, or just any anecdotes to close out the show today.
Yeah, I think so. First, of course, super honor to be here, super pleasure to be here, and I think we can see each other soon.
That sounds like a plan. If I don't see you in person soon, rocking that epic Gundam mask, I will definitely see you in Lumiterra, and maybe my agent can be friends with your agent, just like I'm friends with you now.
Yeah, great. Four of our agents will be friends. We are like guild together.
Awesome. Love it. Greg, Alex, anything else that you guys want to cover before we hop over and spin the wheel with the community?
I think that's it. Lark, thanks for coming on. It was a real pleasure to have you.
Okay, thanks
Yeah,
for
really
having
great
me.
having you. Thanks.
Oh, Lark,
Have a
before
good
you
day.
drop off, can you
Okay.
share your Twitter real quick? Either like in the live chat here or just tell everyone what your handle is so the Monad community can go and follow you, and also follow Lumiterra, of course.
Okay, let me type in the chat.
All right, awesome. Oh, I
Okay.
guess the community has already found your Twitter. I'm seeing them spamming the link in
Okay.
there as well. So you
It's
might not even need to do that.
okay. Thank you. Okay.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Lark, founder of Lumiterra. This is Monad in the Morning. This is where you get the alpha on the Monad community projects building in the ecosystem, and thrilled for whatever may be coming. I can't say more than that for the time being, but be on the lookout. Lumiterra, super, super cool. And Lark, super cool as well. Rocking the Gundam mask. Awesome. All right, let's do some spins with the chat. We can remove our headphones here. Again, if you didn't follow Lark yet, go follow Lark, founder of Lumiterra. Super honored to have had him on. And yeah, I mean, we can't really comment too deeply on what's going on behind the scenes, but I think, kind of little read between the lines action.
True.
All right. So we have our wheel. If either of you guys have to drop, no worries at all. We can spin for those who asked some questions. We also heard from James, who was a little disappointed in us. James Hunsaker, CEO at Category Labs, was a little disappointed in us because we did not give away any of his car NFTs on the past 2 episodes. So we have to make sure that we give away one of James's car NFTs. It is on the wheel. If it doesn't get spun, we'll do a special spin at the end specifically for James's car. How's that sound, guys?
Sounds good.
Cool.
All right. First up, we have Gremlin Crypto, who asked a great question about gaming economies and the relation between Web 2 and Web 3. This spin is for Gremlin Crypto. Greg, do you want to take it away as your
Yeah, sure.
first ever spin
Nice.
on Monad in the Morning?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, dope. I can't see what that prize is. Pull this back. Oh, great prize. Monad hat.
Ooh, nice.
I'm modeling one today. We will we'll get your information, Gremlin, and we will get a hat sent over your way. If this is your first time on Monad in the Morning in the audience, or if you're a recurring listener, a general reminder, it sometimes takes us a few days to send out the prizes, so we appreciate your patience. If you do win a prize, hit up Savant on Twitter. That's at SSSAVANTTT. If you did not win a prize, don't hit up Savant because we will ban you for life. These are the
Don't do
rules. I don't make them, but I enforce them even when intern, the maker of the rules, is not on the show. So that is the protocol. That's how it goes. Gremlin Crypto just won a Monad hat. Very, very good prize if you
That's
if,
sick,
if you
yeah.
ask me.
Monad merch is great.
Monad merch is great. Next up, we have 0x Wolfer. Alex, do you want to spin
Love
for
to do the honors.
for Wolfer? Send that wheel down. Give it a good spin. This is for Wolfer, for better or worse.
Good
That was a
spin.
good spin.
That was
a good
great.
spin.
X Premium.
Wow, X Premium.
nice.
Wow, that's
Solid.
potentially the best prize that you can win.
What about James's NFTs though?
Yeah, James's NFTs are definitely up
Don't be
there.
fading those.
Yeah, can't fade James's car. Don't want to give that incorrect impression, but X Premium, that's pretty good. We can only gift you the X Premium sub if you do not already have Premium. So if you do already have Premium 0x Wolfer, we will respin for you next week, but hit up Savant in the meantime, and if you don't have it, we'll get you hooked up. Next spin is for Deca Tan, who asked a very intellectual question. Why did Lark choose to wear the Gundam mask? That's a spin right there. This one's for Deca_Tan. Greg, you want to take this one?
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
I'm
Let's
trying to
get
put
it.
more arm into it this time. I can get a good.
Yeah, it's
spin.
all
Better
in-
spin.
It's all in the
It's all about
wrist,
the
I
full
think.
form too, right?
Yeah, the forearm and the wrist.
Yeah.
Alex
Do the
knows.
honors. Yeah.
Wrist, okay.
Oh wow,
That's a good one. Almost broke the wheel off.
that's a very good spin.
What is it?
Nice.
see what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, I think for some reason our cameras are mirrored today. That is,
Oh.
I accept responsibility for that.
What do we got?
Oh, Lollipop NPC NFT.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, testnet NFT. Those are good. Those are good. Shout out Yacht, creator of the Lolly. Did you guys see those NFTs?
No.
They're
not
so
yet.
funny.
Yeah.
It started with this meme of like, I don't know what the original meme was. It might have been like JD Vance like holding a lollipop, and then they put Keone's face on it. Yeah. And so then they put Keone's face on it. Then they put a bunch of other faces on it, and minted a collection on testnet. Shout out Yacht Dans on Twitter. Deca_Tan. We will get in touch with you, or actually, you should get in touch with Savant so we can send you a lollipop NPC NFT. Next spin, we've got Cristiano 78303, who asked about social features, social tools in Lumiterra. Great question. Alex, want to show us that form again?
Let's do it.
Bingo. All right, Cristiano, let's see what you got. That was a good, healthy spin.
Very
Good,
good.
healthy spin.
Ooh.
Wow,
Another X premium.
That one's hitting. I'm gonna get in trouble. We're gonna give out too many X premium subs.
Elon bumping up the subscription cost too. So
Brutal. Well, we'll take care of you, Cristiano 78303. And yeah, if you already have X Premium, we'll hook you up with a different prize next week. Next spin goes to Jungi, who just asked a tremendous question. Why did Lark have that artwork in the background? Where did it come from? We found out it came from the community. That's awesome stuff. We love the community. Let's get another spin going here. You want me to take this one?
Yeah, you take it.
All right. This one is for Jungi, the legend. That was all in the wrist.
True.
Right. Oh, the green blank spot. The green blank spot.
Ooh,
That's a respin.
rare.
It's not a wild card.
What would a wild card be? You just pick whatever
You
prize
pick
you want.
whatever you want.
No way. No way.
Wild card.
Jungi, you can't pick your own prize.
You can make a prize.
I guess, Jungi, you're in the chat. If you had to pick a prize, what would you pick? If you answer within the next 5 seconds, we'll consider it. Jungi says, I'm here. Thank you, Jungi. We love you.
Ooh.
He says Meta Ray-Bans, not on the wheel. Respin for Jungi.
Good answer.
What about some Xiaomi glasses?
Yeah. What do we got for Jungi? Monad hat. Jungi, I'm pretty sure you've got a couple Monad hats at this point. I'm just going to give you one more spin just in case. Got to decentralize the merch.
True.
X Premium. We're just hitting. This
Is
happens
that like multiple
sometimes.
X premium?
No, there's only one on the wheel. This tends to happen on the show. Sometimes the same prizes hit
This is
over
like
and
a
over
carnival,
again.
like, trick
We-
or something.
We had the quant team come in. We had them look at the wheel,
That's
make
what
sure
they're
it
up
was
to. Okay.
make sure it was fair.
Verifiable RNG.
The quant team says, "Hey, the wheel's fair," but sometimes probability does probability things.
Want
So,
approved.
Jungi, I don't know. He keeps saying Meta Ray-Bans. I don't know, man. We have to get that approved.
Maybe it's on Facebook Marketplace. So
I guess, Jungi, it would be helpful for me to make a case to get you some Ray-Bans, which I probably cannot do, but I really would be interested to know what you want to do with them. I think that's an important question. It must be asked. You know what? I think I don't know.
Sponsor Flag Football to live stream his games with Meta Ray-Bans.
Wow, that would actually be pretty cool. I wouldn't mind getting a POV look at
Yeah.
Jungi's flag
Yeah,
football
true.
game. Honestly,
Might have to get that going.
Jungi, you make a good case for yourself. I don't know. We'll have to put that. We'll have to put that in review. Let's give you one more spin just in case we
Wait,
can't.
does Jungi have X Premium?
I'm positive he does.
Oh, he does. Yeah.
Premium.
Jungi's been around the block. Pipeline VIP role. I'm pretty sure Jungi has that as
Chucky's got
well.
everything but the Ray-Bans.
Like,
But
we-
the Ray-Ban.
Yeah, he's
Does
like,
he have James's car NFT?
I don't know that Jungi has ever won a James's car NFT. I think that would be
Yes.
that would certainly be a fitting
Yeah.
price. I can check if Jungi already has the VIP role real quick here.
Corrupt
Yeah, he
Flywheel.
already has VIP. Jungi, you're too good. We can't get a prize that's good enough for you besides the meta glasses. So we'll have to put that one into review. But yeah, Jungi, appreciate you a lot. I'm told by Savant that we missed a spin for Susky last week, so this spin is going to go to Susky. I have terrible luck with the wheel. I should not touch the wheel for the rest of the show. So,
for it.
gentlemen,
I'll
please
do it.
help
Go
me
for it,
out.
yeah.
Oh,
Bring it that way a little. Perfect. Perfect. I can't because the camera's weird today. Sorry for my. Ooh, that's a good one. The follow from Monad main account.
oh,
Wow.
nice.
Wow,
That's
Yo.
Susky.
Nice.
Susky getting the follow from Monad main
Quality
account.
spin right there.
That's a
Quality.
quality spin, quality prize, and it's new territory on the wheel, which I am very grateful for.
That's great.
That's big.
Very grateful.
Yeah, W's in the chat.
All right, Susky, you have won. What is it? The main follow. Gotta make my note. And okay, so we haven't given away a James's car NFT yet. That is on the wheel. It didn't land on James's car prize. So we have to make sure we give that away, which means that we can't spin the wheel to give away the prize because the prize has been predetermined. We just need to pick the recipient. When we run into this situation, sometimes what we do is we'll have some trivia, right? Like historically, we've done like guess the number I'm thinking of. Don't guess the number I'm thinking of because you guys can probably see the live chat just breaks because we get so many numbers spammed in the chat.
Makes sense.
So we need to be a little bit more intellectual, I think. And a good way to do that is to come up with some sort of trivia question that we can ask the chat. The first person that we see who gets it correct wins the car, James's car, a very valuable and coveted prize. So, do either of you guys have ideas for a trivia question that we could ask of the chat, and the first person to answer correctly gets the car? If not, I can come up with something.
Well, I can ask like a game lore question.
Perfect.
great.
Perfect. Very on brand for today's episode. Hit it.
Mm. Who was the person that won John Carmack's like first Ferrari that he gave out for the Doom competition?
That's a very
Let's
fitting question.
see the answers.
Maybe repeat it one more time, Greg, just in case
Yeah.
someone didn't catch it.
Who was the person who won John Carmack's Ferrari during the first Doom esports competition?
Keone.
Yo, maybe it's too hard. Very specific, yeah.
People are saying Phil Collins and Thresh.
Phil Collins is Thresh actually,
Oh, it is Thresh.
but that's not his like doc's name. But it is Thresh, yeah.
Ooh, okay. I think
Who is
Phil
Thresh? Who
Collins.
got Thresh?
Chaos Walker, legend.
Ooh, nice. It is
Mana
Dennis
in the
Fong,
morning,
yeah,
super fan. Dennis Fong.
Yeah.
Okay. Chaos Walker, you're a legend. You're
Yeah.
getting James's car.
Nice.
Chaos
It's
Walker.
very on brand, you know. Now
Yeah.
John Carmack's car, now James's car.
Right. John's car,
Works out.
winner, to James's car, winner, because you guessed who won John's car.
True.
And you not only got the Anon identity, you got the Docs identity.
Oh, nice.
Very, very deserving. Man, this has been a ton of fun. It always is. This is episode 23, Mon Out in the Morning, live every Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern.
Phil Collins is crazy.
First, yeah. This is the first time that we had the pleasure of having Greg and Alex on the show to co-host. Lark as well, founder of Lumiterra. Definitely not the last time all around. Look forward to having you guys on again soon. Not sure if you have any closing thoughts or wisdom to leave the community with today on this fine throughput Thursday, but I'll pass the mic to you guys in case you do.
I would like thank you guys for
Mhm.
having us and thanks Danny for having us and being so engaged in the chat. One, two, I would keep like a lookout for the future of interactive entertainment on Monad. I think we're
Mhm.
gonna have a lot of stuff that will surprise and delight you all. And hope to see you online. Playing the various experiences that we have in store for you guys. And thanks for having us again.
Yeah, no, really great having us. Awesome to be on. And in terms of like any additional thoughts too, I'd just say as the tons of exciting stuff happening in the Monad ecosystem, and one of the best ways to keep in touch and keep learning more about the interactive entertainment piece is really just like being hands-on on the product side, playing around with different apps, and like that's just a really quick way to get up to speed and learn a lot.
100%. If you don't already, make sure to go follow Greg and Alex on Twitter. I know Greg is at G_M_F.
Yeah.
If that's correct. Alex, what's your handle?
It's just Alex Gidavani.
Beautiful. All right.
Yep.
Community, go follow Greg and Alex. A lot of updates and alpha coming on the gaming and interactive experience side of things at Monad. I know that's kind of it's an interesting vertical because it takes so much time to build out these products, and generally, these things kind of gravitate more towards like a single ecosystem kind of play. So it's very different from looking at something like DeFi, where, a lot of the large players from the EVM space have come in from very early testnet or even before and just kind of planted their flag like, hey, we're deploying on Monad. The gaming and interactive experience side of things is definitely more like I think like customized and kind of native to particular ecosystems. And it's also just an interesting time in like most development cycles for a lot of the projects that have been around for a couple of years. So those who have been looking forward to this, definitely there's a lot to be excited about, but pre mainnet looks very different from post mainnet. So lots to come. Hopefully you enjoyed today's episode, and if you want, we can bring on more guests. We can have Lark back on and keep talking.
Maybe some others.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Lots in store. I think there's a lot more that we can't say but would want to say. A lot of things going on behind the scenes, many irons in the fire, a lot of projects.
Yeah, lots of stuff.
Projects that haven't been announced yet, but we're excited about, and we know you will be soon as well. So keep tuning in, and next week I think we do a big round of spins for the Clippers. So if you make a great clip, make sure tag Pipeline, tag me, tag Greg and Alex, tag Lark, and we'll see that on the timeline, and we'll give you some spins next week. But as always, thanks for being here. If you want more action, stick around for Cryptoon's Twitter space starting in 13 minutes.